So the ACT might have just made one of its biggest mistakes, and some students ended up taking the same test twice in a row. Here's what happened. On the September ACT, that was called an equating test. So because the ACT recently just rolled out its enhanced ACT across the US, they needed to build up their library. So during the administration, a lot of students reported taking different test forms. So on Reddit, you'll see people saying they took like J01, J02, all the way up to J09. So basically, based on my research, I'm seeing about 10 different tests that were offered on the same day. Essentially, ACT was using September as a way of collecting data from the students and figuring out how to scale their tests, right? Because getting a certain number correct corresponds to a scale score from 1 to 36. So this one, according to reports and my personal experience taking the test, everybody got form J08 on Saturday. So if I did my math correctly, and let's say roughly 100,000 students took both administrations, and there are 10 forms floating around in September, there was roughly a 1 in 10 chance that you got the same test form if you took the test in both September and October. Now, knowing that there's a bunch of eager juniors and a bunch of freaking out seniors trying to take the test to get their highest score possible, I'm guessing that thousands of kids got the same test. So I've actually seen this before. ACT has had a history of reusing test forms, but normally they administer the same test form like a year and a half apart. So the likelihood of the same student taking the same test twice is really, really low. And even if they got the same test form, it would have been such a long time that they wouldn't remember how to answer the questions anyways. But having the same exact test form 1 month apart, that's a little bit problematic. In my opinion, a student who studied really, really hard and suddenly remembered all those questions, they would have an advantage that a lot of other students wouldn't have. So I'm curious to hear from you. Is this a big mistake on the part of ACT, or is administering the same exact test 1 month apart not that big a deal? And for those of you who are the lucky few to take the same test twice in a row, do you feel like getting the same test helped your score more than studying? Leave your thoughts below.